Manila serves as the capital city of the Philippines with over 14 million population. It is one of the most crowded cities in the world. With people living their lives, this is much more evident on how active the population even at night and during the day. But how do people living here manage one of the main causes of mental illness currently lurking in our society? Stress is one of the major hurdles that everyone is tackling, whether you're a student or a full-grown adult.
Peace of mind, feeling content, and having a healthy lifestyle is often what we wish for, but nothing we actually embody on a daily basis.
Kuya, kamusta po kayo?
Okay naman po.
Stress po ba kayo lately?
Medyo.
Kamusta po kayo?
Okay lang.
Stress po ba kayo lately?
Meron din, straight.
Kamusta po kayo?
Walang Diyos, nabubuhay.
Stress po ba kayo lately?
Ha?
Stress po ba kayo lately?
Okay.
I mean, there's always something to worry about. There's always something that could go wrong. There's always something that is still on our to-do list. There's always a person that we could lose, an opportunity that we could miss. If it ain't one thing, it's another. What can we do about it? How do we respond to life and deal with stress? It may appear peculiar, but getting rid of your stress does require some effort on your part. If you want to learn more about stress and how to manage it, you might want to watch this documentary all the way through. The sensation of being overwhelmed or unable to cope with mental or emotional pressure is referred to as stress. As a result, it's unpleasant, and stress is frequently an uncertain generalization. When something doesn't feel right, we try to avoid it and don't even look closer. For instance, there's still a pile of tasks to complete, but we are not fully clear which task to do first.
Hindi naman siya masama, hindi rin siya ganun kabuti. Okay? Tulad nga ng sabi ko, stress is, you should use stress as stretch or batak, or kumbaga hinahatak ka, or diba, kumbaga for example sa rubber band, diba?
Apo.
The more na hinahatak ka, the more na nagiging flexible ka, diba? So you should look at stress as one of that opportunity, you know, to stretch yourself. Kasi kailangan meron tayong learning mindset eh. That learning mindset should be one of our tools in facing stress. Like, what can I get from here, from this problem? Magkano makukuha ko rito? You should always think like that. Hindi yung stress ka na nga. I mean, yeah, stress ka na nga, na-stress ka na, yun ang problema mo pa. So, ang nangyayari, double burden yung natatanggap mo. So, we should view stress as an opportunity to grow.
Opo, kasi lately ngayon po, yung tingin nila sa stress is puro negative, ganun po.
Negative attachment yung term. Na pag namong stress, automatic,
Negative na.
hindi naman, diba?
The irony is that uncertainty is one of the root causes of stress. If we don't know how exactly what the appropriate actions are, it's natural that we feel overwhelmed and unable to cope because we don't know if we'll make it, and we don't look closely because we're already stressed. And then, logically, our feelings of stress often lead to procrastination as we try to avoid our stress.
Now we're heading to Intramuros to ask more people on how do they cope with stress.
Hello po. Kamusta po kayo?
Okay lang naman. Sakto lang, ganun.
Ito po bang bond nyo is parang way nyo para po yung sa stress management po?
Actually, kasi since ngayon lang ulit kami nagkasama-sama, after a long week of tiredness, at least for some reason, na-reduce yung stress na naipon for the past weeks na yun. Ganun.
Ay po.
Ganun din yung sagot niya. Kasi bali, minsan lang talaga kasi kami magkita-kita tapos, yung sked pa nila sa school, sked pa sa trabaho, di nagsasabay. Kaya, kailangan may isang magsasakripisyo para magsama-sama.
So, bali parang coping mechanism na lang namin itong paggagala.
Okay. Kayo po?
Ganon din po. Kasi minsan lang magkita-kita eh. Parang, dito. Parang mag-enjoy na lang, ganon.
What does stress mean to you?
Stress for me is feeling pressured. It is when I feel unstable and unhappy in doing things. This pandemic, I mostly experienced stress when it comes to online classes because I had a hard time coping with it. It is also stressful to manage time because of this new normal. But despite these stressful things due to pandemic, I might say that it wasn't really pretty bad to experience new things such as online classes. And coping might be stressful, but it still resulted me a good thing.
Who is affected by stress? Stress and negative emotions in teachers can lead to occupational burnout, poor performance in the classroom, and decreased job satisfaction. Apart from having negative personal and physical effects for the individual teacher, teacher stress and burnout are also thought to have negative effects on their respective students and student achievement. Notable reasons. Sometimes the stress comes from the inside rather than outside. You can stress yourself out just by worrying about things. The following are the factors that can lead to stress. Number 1. Fear and uncertainty. When you regularly hear about the threat of terrorist attacks, global warming, and toxic chemicals on the news, it can cause you to feel stressed, especially because you feel like you have no control over those events. Fears can also hit closer to home, such as being worried that you won't finish a project at school or won't have enough money to pay your bills this month.
What were the most stressful moments in your life during this pandemic po?
Ayun, siguro ang pinaka-stressful moment is, I know hindi lang naman ako to na naka-experience ito, but we've all known that we've lost a specific part of ourselves as we enter in pandemic. No? This is a very challenging part kasi we only have ourselves that time. We cannot reach other people kasi sila mismo may iniisip na ibang problema din. So, ba't mo pa idadagdag yung sarili mo, di ba? You have to deal it. Diba? Sa sarili mo lang. Siguro, yun yung pinaka-challenging sa ating lahat. How to gather ourselves back. Kasi we entered pandemic as a person, as a confident person, some of us, diba? As a confident person, and pandemic broke us in a way na hindi natin alam kung saan tayo aasa. Hindi natin alam kung saan tayo kakapit. So, yun yung pinaka-challenging experience na naranasan ko during pandemic.
Number 2. Attitudes and perceptions. How you view the world or a particular situation can determine whether it causes stress. Similarly, people who feel like they're doing a good job at work will be less stressed out by a big upcoming project than those who worry that they are incompetent.
What was your attitude towards those stressful situations you've mentioned?
First, I tried my best not to think of negativity about things. Second, I pray to help me ease the stress, and lastly, I try to accept and cope up with those stressful things.
I have no choice but to have a positive outlook no matter how bad the situation is. It's only because I only have myself for the taking. Whatever happens whatever happens during that time, it's on me. Gagawin ko lahat yun. So it's either I end up losing myself or I end up figuring some things about myself. Kumbaga, wala tayong ibang pwedeng asahan. We should have that positive outlook. Kailangan araw-araw sabihin mo sa sarili mo na kaya ko to, walang ibang gagawa nito para sa akin. I have to do this myself. Diba? Kung hindi ko kaya, sinong gagawa? Wala. So kakayanin ko. I have to fight. Ganun. You should have that fighting mindset.
Number 3. Unrealistic expectations. No one is perfect. If you expect to do everything right all the time, you're destined to feel stressed when things don't go as expected. Number 4. Change. Any major change in life can be stressful. Even a happy event like a wedding or a job promotion.
Did you happen to experience any unexpected change and circumstances throughout the COVID-19 pandemic? If yes, what are those po?
Yes. Obviously, yes. I mean, I even noticed some changes personally, no. These changes are positive naman. Like, siguro, I'll share something na rin. Before kasi I'm a person of conformity and parang I always seek for conformity and confirmation from other people na if I did something right, I have to ask them if I did something right. If I did something, parang I want them to acknowledge me. I want them to acknowledge my existence. During pandemic kasi, since tulad nga nasabi ko kanina, we only have ourselves for the taking. Sarili lang natin yung asahan natin. So I learned to rely on myself, to boost myself up, and to be confident enough to the point na hindi ko na kailangang umasa sa sabihin ng ibang tao. It's like, sabi ko nga diba, I learned that hindi lahat ng opinion ng mga tao sa paligid ko ay nagmamatter sa growth and development na meron ako. So, especially if those opinions are meant to destroy me, I should ignore them. They don't, parang wala silang karapatan na maging part ng growth na meron ako kung wala silang ibang gusto kundi mapabagsak. Parang ganon.
Yes, one of the unexpected changes in my life because of the pandemic is learning and understanding the lessons and things with new ways of learning.
We all know that stress is always part of our lives, with or without pandemic. It instilled in our mind that stress is bad for us or stress is our enemy. It makes you sick. It affects your mental health, physical health, emotional health, but to create a common understanding. Therefore, the following are some approaches on how to hack your stress. Approach number 1. Break your tasks. If you are constantly overwhelming yourself with a pile of tasks that cause you stress, you are saying no to yourself and your well-being. Divide your work into smaller tasks, such as organizing your to-do list from easiest to most difficult. Approach number 2. Take a breather. Taking a break not only improves your health, but also your productivity. And there are 2 factors you should be aware of. Every 1.5 to 2 hours of work, a 10 to 20 minute break should be considered. A full hour as a lunch break is also a good idea, as is taking at least 1 day off per week. Approach number 3. Accept the stress. If you truly accept your stress, you let it go, and you became partially immune to situations that used to stress you out.